Hey guys, this is Abhishek from GadgetsToUse.com, and today we are going to do the quick unboxing and quick review of LG K7, which is going to be a budget Android phone which will launch for a price less than 10,000 rupees. In this review, we are going to tell you whether it is worth spending the amount of money you are going to spend on this phone. As far as hardware is concerned, we get Snapdragon 210 on this device, 8GB of internal storage, 1.5GB of RAM, and the display of 5-inch. However, the display is kind of compromised in terms of the display resolution. It is not a 720p display, it is a 480p display which we have on the phone. So let's start with the review, and the first thing which we are going to do is the unboxing, and we will find out what all you get within the package of this phone. As we started with the unboxing, we could see that we got the Indian retail package, and there are some key features mentioned on this package, which includes the quad-core CPU, which is 1.1 GHz, and it is Snapdragon 210. You also get a 5-inch of display, although the display is not a high definition or a full high definition display. It is just a 480p display, which is kind of a disappointment on this device, but that's how it is. As we opened the seal, and we could see that the first thing inside the package is the device itself, which comes in this plastic wrap so that the display can be protected from any kind of scratches. The battery again is separately packed within the package itself. It is not coming inside. The next thing which we got inside the package is a set of user manual, and the model number of the device is also mentioned over there. We get a charger as well. Again, this is not a 1 ampere charger. The output current from this charger is 0.8 ampere, and you get a battery as well, which is 2125 mAh. Again, this is going to last for 1 day. You do get some headphones as well, which are basic set of plastic headphones. Sound quality as well as the build quality is average from these ones. And then the last thing which you get is the micro USB cable, which can be used for data syncing and charging. Start talking about the LG K7, which looks like to be a super affordable phone, and LG has cut down many corners to bring this device to Indian market. Let's take a look over the connectivity and the ports. On the front top part of the phone, you get a nice metric earpiece, proximity and ambient light sensors, and you get a 5 megapixel fixed focus camera. Again, the camera quality from the front camera is not so great, and we will talk about that later. Rear back of the phone has got 8 megapixel camera, which is an autofocus camera. It can record high definition video. There is LED flash on the right as well, and you have got the same kind of design which we see on LG G series phones as far as the volume rocker button and the power and sleep key is concerned. So LG has actually brought that particular design on this affordable phone. Bottom of the phone has got loudspeaker mesh over there, and a very nice texture as well, which you can easily notice, which is there at the back cover, which will give you a great grip and a very good economic feel as well when you hold this phone in hand. The phone has a very good curvy back cover, which is again removable. That means you can actually remove the battery on your own, and the overall feel of the phone is quite nice because of this. Front bottom of the phone houses the capacitive buttons, and these capacitive buttons are there within the display. You also have a capacitive button for switching the dual SIM functionality, and again, this is a kind of a compromise on this budget Android phone, that they have given the capacitive button but they are within the display, so they will keep taking some part of the display resolution at times, but again, this is how it happens on other affordable phones as well. The buttons which we have on the phone are quite tactile. They give you very good feedback when you press them, and there is a slight different amount of texture over there on the power and sleep key compared to what you have on the volume rocker, so that you can easily distinguish in between these buttons and use them wisely. Bottom edge of the phone has got a micro USB port for data syncing and charging, a primary microphone hole over there, and you have also got a 3.5mm audio jack, and all these connectivity buttons are there at the bottom so that you can easily access them, and again, it is definitely a good placement for all these ports. In terms of the overall form factor and the thickness, this phone is not very slim. It has a thickness of 9.1mm, which is fairly thick for a device like this. Has got a weight of 161 gram, but the curvy back cover which we have on the phone and the way it is curved on the edges gives you a very good feel, and it feels like a light phone overall when you hold it in hand, and the overall form factor of the phone is also good because of that. Talking about the display resolution, it is one of the major letdown about this phone. Even when this phone has got a good 5-inch of display, but it is 480 into 854, which gives you a pixel density of 196 pixels per inch, and you can easily notice pixels on this display in day-to-day usage, which is definitely not a good thing compared to other devices in the same price segment in which this will come. All other devices got 720p display, which is kind of standard these days, but LG has actually not followed that, and they have given a lower resolution display on this device, which is definitely a major drawback. On Antutu, we got an average score of 20438, which is again good for a device like this, but not a great score overall. On Geekbench, we got a score of 304 in single core and 964 in multi-core. In quadrant we got a score of 9400 approximately, which is again not a very good score but kind of a okay score for a device like this. Moving towards the RAM and storage, it comes with 1.5 GB of RAM, out of which 1.1 GB of RAM is free, and this much of RAM is good for day-to-day usage on this phone but not for heavy usage. But overall performance of the phone is not affected because it has got 1.5 GB of RAM, which is again not too much and not too less as well. Out of the 8 GB storage which we have on the phone, approximately 4 GB is available to the user and rest of it is being used by the system, and there are around 200 MB of application which are coming to install, but some of the application you can get rid of. You can uninstall some of the application, whereas some of the bloatware you cannot uninstall on this phone. Talking about the hardware configuration of this phone, this one has got Qualcomm MSM8909 Snapdragon 210. It is a quad-core 1.1 GHz Cortex-A7 CPU, and the GPU which we have got is Adreno 304 GPU, which is again good for decent gaming, good for medium graphic intensive games as well. But in case you plan to play heavy games, do not do that because you will see a lot of lag on this device when you try to play these games. Again, storage is kind of limited. You may not be able to install those games, but you do have support for micro SD memory card in case you can install them. If you run heavy games on this device, you will see a lot of lag and a lot of frame drops as well happening when you try to play those heavy games. On the connectivity front, you have support for 2 SIM cards on this device. Both of these SIM cards will support 4G as well. There is a dedicated micro SD card slot as well. That means you can actually use 2 SIM cards and a micro SD memory card as well at the same point of time. So in terms of connectivity, there is no compromise on this phone, and connectivity wise, it is a good phone overall. As we have already told you that this device has got a lower resolution display, but the display quality is not bad. It is an IPS LCD display. Viewing angles are good if not great, and the overall color production is good, and this display can be used in indoor without any issues. In outdoor, you can always increase the brightness to see what is happening on the screen, and display clarity wise, it is a good display overall for the price you are paying for the phone. Let's talk about the camera performance of this phone. We have got an 8 megapixel camera at the back. The camera interface is fairly simple and easy to use. You can switch in between different kind of aspect ratio. You have the option of taking photos in panorama mode as well. You can take good photos in daylight and decent photos in low light as well as in artificial light. Clarity wise, some of the low light shots which we captured in artificial light scenarios from this device came out to be good in terms of the overall clarity we were expecting in those photos, as well as in terms of colors they were looking good. But because this device have a lower resolution display, so in case you capture a good photo which have good amount of details and good colors, if you preview them on this particular phone on the display, you may not see the kind of details you are looking forward to see. In order to test the gaming performance of this device, we played Dead Trigger 2, which is kind of a graphic intensive game, and it is a medium graphic intensive game. And as we played this game, touchscreen was responsive, there was no problem with the finger touch, and when we played the game in high graphic mode, we could notice certain frame drops. However, when you play this game in medium graphic mode, you can play the game smoothly without any issues with the touchscreen or any issues with the graphics. Overall gaming performance of the phone is not affected if you play the games in medium graphic mode, and that is something which you might need to do in order to get a smooth gaming experience when you play games like these. This is all we have as far as the quick unboxing and quick review of LG K7. Before I conclude my review, I would like to mention some of the pros and cons of this device. Now, some of the major pros of this device has to be the build quality, the good design, the light form factor, and a decent performance in day-to-day usage. In case LG is planning to launch this phone for a price of 5,000 to 6,000 rupees, then it is a great value for money even when it has a lower display resolution. Talking about the cons, the major con on this device has to be the lower display resolution and Snapdragon 210, which is kind of an old CPU, and it is not as fast as other CPUs you will get on other devices in the same price segment at which this one will come. Overall, the performance of day-to-day usage is not affected, but in case you are a heavy user, this is not a phone for you. You should not buy this phone in case you plan to play games a lot, in case you plan to install applications a lot. The user interface is again friendly, it is not that responsive, but for day-to-day usage, there should not be any problem on this one. But for heavy user, I do not recommend this phone. This is all I have. In case you have any queries and questions, please leave your queries and questions in the comment section below. You can like this video if this video helped you by clicking the like button below. You can subscribe to our YouTube video channel for more videos like this by clicking the subscribe button below. Thanks for watching this video. This is Abhishek signing off. Thank you.